I believe that art's primary function really is to communicate. The best way to build bridges between people is to have a dinner. To get a seat at the table, you have to make your own plate, or you have to make a plate. The food will be served on a long table. There will be an opportunity for exchange, a dialogue between our guests. And at the end of the meal, everybody gets to take all of the plates and shatter them.
Okay, let's grab a plate. These we're going to use as a mold.
When people commit to have this dinner with us, they're also committing to these workshops. And in these workshops, you get to move the clay, you get to shape it onto pre-made plate forms. It invites people into this space to be a participant in the project overall, rather than buying a ticket and having a seat. Clay is one of these interesting materials that no matter how much the technology advances, clay seems to be right with it. It continues to be relevant as a material through all of these different social changes. There's something really human about that every culture is kind of engaged with this material. No matter what we're doing, it always seems to find a home with us. What I found is if you give people a task, a simple task, they begin to communicate because their bodies are doing something. It's a way to remove some of the barriers that we create just in social situations. If you give your body to do something, it's not defending itself. And so the workshop table becomes the first table for people to have this dialogue and exchange. When they come back for the dinner and everybody's there will already have been a community developed through the process of making the plates. This sort of basic human exchange, I think, is the primary function.
There has been a history of collecting native ceramic vessels, and they have been reduced from their function to the object, and the object has been celebrated. I wanted to create the opportunity for people to actually make something out of clay and then experience what its primary function is, which is to share food. Food that we're serving, it comes from a world of clay cooking. You're going to be sitting across from maybe somebody you don't know. You're going to have a conversation. This is the most beautiful these pieces can ever be. But sometimes you stand at the edge of the cliff looking in at that cool body of water below, and you gotta just throw yourself in. It's the only way. Come on in and smash your plates.
I felt a little bit mixed going into it. I was thinking about, well, what happens to those shards after? Like, there's something about that physicality, and then poof. And then we're left with this ephemeral, amazing experience. I think it's the museum part of me that loves objects, and I was like, I just want one of those shards. But it was exciting and a really wonderful way to spend time together.
This evening's experience is absolutely unique. I appreciate the full circle of the function experience.
I mean, it really centers on this idea of community, and historically when Native people made art, it was never meant to last forever. We would make something and it would have its function, and then it would go back to the earth or would be turned into something else, and so the energy would be used in a different way. So I think it was really interesting and a lot of fun.
To see a lot of the museum professionals here and also a lot of the native artists here, the sharing of the food and how Cannupa come around serving people and greeting people, and I thought that was just a really great interaction, building community.
What I'm going to take home with me as a main success to this project is how willing everybody was to participate and to go along with this, because I think it is a little outside of most people's comfort zones. Projects like this might open up that kind of actual, like, experiential participation in art making, art as a verb rather than a noun. There was a little boy who loved his plate and he didn't want to break it. And he almost started crying when I was kind of pressuring him to break it. Okay, this is the most difficult part. He does not want to break it at all. And I think it's really important that you guys all support him in it. He broke his own plate, he broke a bunch of other people's plates, he broke one of my platters, like, he got into it, you know? If I've changed his heart around, you know, object and commodity of object and stuff like that, then success!